Nothing wrong with that. Heat number 3 quickly getting underway. We're not going to waste any time tonight. That's the way they've done this program all week long. This is their 7th race in as many days. And you know it's been a long week when you come down to the pits like I did and walk through and you hear a lot of hammers banging away on sheet metal. If you've raced before and you've raced a week like that, you know what that's like. And that's kind of what you're seeing out there tonight. Heat 3 is coming up next. This one should be led by a driver who's only been here a couple of times this year. That is Dave Harmon out of Cedro Woolley. Washington will lead the way. Aaron Elwes in the 48 car. Gray Ferrando, the V13 car. Gray has a win this week during the speed week. John Gaynor in the 99X, as we said, Gray Ferrando in the V13. Jim Pettit the second in the 6. Timothy Allerdings has a victory in the 27. Lawrence O'Connor in that good-looking 27. There's two 27s. Lawrence is the blue, kind of a blue and white in the back row. And Austin Ronglin still looking for that first win. And we know it's a coming any time. That 6 car sitting back in, I guess you want to call it row number 2 it would be. This yellow and blue one right here. Just got inducted this year in the West Coast Hall of Fame, Racing Hall of Fame, that is. Jim Pettit II. He is a former asphalt driver several years. He is a 5-time Southwest Tour champion. So if you follow racing over the years, that Jim Pettit II ought to ring a bell. Had a chance to meet him. But he switched up and decided to go dirt. So we've seen a lot of dirt drivers become great asphalt drivers. Interesting to see how asphalt drivers become dirt track drivers. Because I can think of some names that went dirt to asphalt that turned out very well, like our own Tom Sweatman. Ran dirt for years, got into the asphalt, did very well. Casey Kane, another Northwest driver, went from dirt to the asphalt. Some great Northwest drivers that have yeah, and then, of course, we can't forget Kyle Larson. He can do everything. If there was an airplane that he could race, he would, and he'd probably win in it. So, Aaron Elwes from just down the road will lead the way about an hour and a half from here out of Woodland, Washington. Reed's Automotive sponsored car. Here we go. Green is out. Oh, Gray Ferrando slips up a little bit. Oh, we'll try 3 wide again. No shocker there. You'll see it all night long. Oh, look out. 99 gets sent up the racetrack, and he comes to a halt, and I don't got to tell you what's going to happen there. John Gaynor says, I don't want to leave the racetrack. So, but I don't think he has a lot of choice, unfortunately. Well, apparently Jim Pettit is the one they sent off the racetrack, apparently triggering that incident then, because the 99 is still out there. So here we go. Erwin Elwes, the driver out of Woodland, Washington, leading the way, but here comes State and Oregon's Gray Ferrando. And Gray, no stranger to taking wins here at Grays Harbor Raceway. Always a top competitor. Got a win earlier this week in Speed Week in that 13 car. Timothy Allardings sitting back there in the black 27. Lawrence O'Connor not going forward like he expected to in the 27 car. Austin Rongland just kind of checking things out in that good-looking number 81. Halfway this time home, halfway this time by. Erwin Elwes continuing to lead. I might be able to hang off Ferrando. Erwin hugging the bottom in that 48 car over the 13 of Gray Ferrando. Gray searching around, trying to find some way to get around. And Timothy Allardings in the 27 car. Sitting back in the third spot. White flag will be displayed this time by for the 48 of Elwes. Down the backstretch for the final time into turn 3. Off turn number 4, it'll go to the Woodland, Washington driver, Aaron Elwes, over Gray Ferrando. And the 27 of Timothy Allardings. Heat number 4 is coming up next. Going to have one of our own Elma drivers starting up front, the Rogland Motorsports and Marine, Stone Motorsports, Fusion Graphics, Commercial Property Services. Chaz Wilder will lead the way in the 16 car. The 66 car making a first appearance here at Redding, California. Kevin Pendergrass, the Napa-sponsored number 66 car. The 24 car out of Cottage Grove, brought to you by SKS Racing, South Valley Plumbing. It's Curtis Towns in the 24 car. The 93 car from Oaquium, the R.L. Johnson Trucking, Victoria Chassis, Pacific Western Lumber, Elliott French in the 93. The 08 from Santa Maria, California, Central Coves Packaging, Coastal AG, Jared Domingos in the 08 car. Paul Cook out of Creswell, Oregon, thanks to Concrete Pumping, Tanks Concrete Pumping, DK and J Construction on the side of that car. Riley Shear in the number 1. And Katie Sample in the 13K, again no relation. He's driving the kind of black and blue car. Slipping up high is the 66 right out of the gate. Well, they try 3 wide down the main straightaway, and it worked. He's trying to gather that spot back up, leaves him the lead, dropping back. And back up front, got that lead back in the Napa Special, the 66 car. Kevin Pendergrass, the Redding, California driver, over Curtis Towns in the 24. Oh, look out. One goes around, 2 others involved. That's a tough situation there. Katie Sample going around to 32, collecting Paul Cope, and might be Riley Shear, I believe, and it is, in the number 1 car, also involved. Kevin Pendergrass, who's kind of lost it on the opening lap, lost about 3 spots, but was able to gather that Napa car back up to the front, and he continues to lead. Curtis down. And then it's the 08 of Jared Domingos sitting back there. The California driver, Chaz Wilder, from just down the road, sitting back and forth. Paul Cope trying to gather some spots back, and Elliott French will be out there in the 93. Curtis Towns, passing points very important in these heat races tonight. And it seems like it's working for the 66 car. With that said, though, he goes around. Tough deal for him. He had such a good run going. Caution will come out once again. The one and done rule, I think, is going to be in effect this time for the 66 car, unfortunately. I get it. It's a tough deal, but it's got to be done. And long tow all the way from Redding, California. But he'll still have another shot. He will have a chance to work his way if he doesn't make it into the A main due to points. We'll have a couple of B main events tonight to get yourself into the A main. $20 cars the distance in the 35 lap A main event coming up later on tonight. Been a long week for some of these drivers. Like I said, I heard a lot of sledgehammers banging metal out there. Some of the guys were here bright and early today, made their way up from their last stop last night. Only one repeat winner this week in the modifieds, and he's not even here tonight, Bryson James. In the sport mods, we've only had 2 different winners. 3, they've each won 3. We'll talk about them as their turn comes out here on the track. I guess you could call this maybe a little bit of a tune-up for the Modified Nationals, which is coming up here mid-July. It's going to be actually July 14th and 15th, $7,500 to win for the first place driver on that weekend. So that ought to draw some cars back up for that one. Curtis Towns and Jared Domingos, who started in the 5th spot, Trying to hang on to second right now as the white flag comes out. Chaz Wilder just minding his own business and having a good run in that 16. He's going to try to get that runner-up spot. The kid out of Elma. That good-looking 16 car. And he may get that second spot. I don't think so. He'll have to settle for third. Third behind Jared Domingos as Curtis Towns takes the win. Fifth and final heat race for the A mods coming up next. They're getting ready to roll out here in just a moment. Going to be led by John Player out of Springfield, Oregon, the B&R sheet metal. Brooks Tow and Recovering Soft Wash Pros on the side of the 4-car. Then it's the M14, one of our own favorites. Darn near won it a week ago. Thought he was going to win it. Probably should have. Had some problems towards the end out of Seebeck. The Miles Resources, Corin Main, Tyler Rentos, Craig Moore in the number 14 car. The 97 car, it is the two-time Grays Harbor Raceway champion. Out of Olympia, the Bud Commander, Fusion Graphics, MB Electric, AMSOIL, it is Tyson Blood in the 97. Buddy Niss in the 19K. Troy Morris, the third, comes in as the points leader of Speed Week. He's in the 07 car, sitting back there in row number 3. We'll be keeping an eye on him. Also Zane Miner in the 31, Cole Jones in the 4C, Kevin Ballin in the 42. Here we go. Final heat race for the modifieds. Oh, they're trying to make it 3 wide. Oh, be careful out there. It can happen, but you gotta be careful how you do it. We see it every weekend out here. Tyson Blood up to the second spot behind the veteran Craig Moore. Craig getting closer every week. Watch that 07 car trying to find a way around our two-time champion. And he is the Speed Week points leader, and he's going to make it happen. This young kid has been on fire all week long. Troy Morris the third, and he has moved from third to second. This kid is something else. I'm not kidding you. He got a win at Cottage Grove just a couple of days ago, and now he's challenging the two-time track champion Craig Moore. Craig had a great race going last week, almost won the thing. This kid has never been on our racetrack before, and the way he's driving, you'd think he has. He's digging down low. He can't get any closer to those tires. Troy Morris the third. Oh, Craig Moore's got to really protect that bottom. If he's able to do it, I don't think he is. Oh, it slips right up in front of Craig Moore, chops the door on him, actually. Now Tyson Blood trying to get by for second. Driver out of Bakersville, California, into turn 3, off turn number 4. Welcome to Grays Harbor Raceway, kid. Troy Morris the third, taking the victory. Coming from row number 3 to take the win. Troy Morris, wow. Comes in as the points leader out of Bakersville, California, has a win and 3 podium finishes this week in the 07 X car. The way he ran, you thought he'd been here before, but he has not. Sport mods are coming up next. Two heats scheduled for the sport mods tonight. Look very, very, very similar to the regular modifieds you've been watching. Some of them actually could run with these guys if they wanted to. That is for sure. Jacob Mallet Jr. out of Oakley, California, severed metal and powder coating. DeCarlo Race Prep, Ryland Racing, he'll be out in the 127 car. The 7JR is Mike Ficklin Jr. Normally races out of Chico, California. He's from Paradise, California in the Smogs Plus 7JR car. Next row back, it'll be the 38 from Tracy, California. The Kieran Wright, offloadit.com Patchwork Ranch, JC Keller in the 38 car. The 10 car out of Berkshire, or out of Oregon, the Pacific Golf and Turf, 47th Construction, Schramm Brothers Excavating. It is Braden Brookshire, the 15-year-old in the number 10 car. Next row back, it's the defending track champion in the sport mods. Out of Salem, Oregon, also got a win here. Out of Salem, it's the TR Points Trucking, Trevor Points in the 11 car. The 28K out of Antioch, California, the Delta Transmission and Driveline, GRT race cars, all spec sheet metal. It's Chester Niss, first time to Grays Harbor in the 28 car. In the 19A out of Jasper, Oregon, the Sun Auto Alpha Towing, Smith Family Suites, got some shirts for sale. Go down and see her after the races. Friendly gal, Madeline Ashley in the 19 car. Madeline Ashley. And a late arrival in the 7M. He's got 3 wins this week out of Wairika, California. It is Ethan Killingsworth. Ethan Killingsworth. Three wins in a row, as a matter of fact, in that 7 car. Been a busy week for him. Sport mods on the racetrack. First of 2 heat races. Almost go 3 wide off turn number 2. That was the secret around the garage tonight. Oh, look out. It's the 15-year-old going around. He's got to keep pedaling. Keep pedaling. Back it up. The car is moving, kinda. I don't know. Well, trying to keep her going. It did bring out a caution, unfortunately. All that action, 1 lap completed. Leading the way right out of the gate once again, Jacob Mallet Jr. in the 127. He'll be running ahead of Trevor Points in the 11 car. Trevor, the former champion, and Casey Keller got his hands full in the 3rd spot, trying to take over 2nd. Not able to do it that time. Trevor says, no, I'm going to hang on for now. Jacob Mallet Jr. in the 127, continuing to be your leader. Not quite halfway yet. Trevor Point sitting back in second. And the number 11, it is the 7 from the back, Ethan Killingsworth. Has won 3 in a row on the circuit this week. And he's all the way up to third. From last to third. And we're just past the halfway point. Don't think he's going to have enough time unless a caution was to come out, because your leader, Jacob Mallet Jr., who started on the pole, has led this all the way. White flag will be up this time by. White flag. Checkered flag will be displayed. And this one will go to the driver that started on the pole, Jacob Mallet Jr. over Trevor Point. And Ethan Killingsworth coming home third in that number 7 car. First of 2 heat races. Second heat race getting ready to roll out next. Landon Philpott out of La Pine, Oregon will lead this next group out. The D&H Motorsports